Don't forget, every Proview Network sporting event is on sale at our DVD store. Go to www.proviewnetworks.com to buy your DVD today.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show. Special guest today is Dr. Joe Kasper, the clinical nutritionist. And Joe, thanks for coming on.
My pleasure, Steve. An honor to be here, sir.
You know, I love relationships. I love timing and things like that. And you know, we met at at an establishment 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yes.
And I love people when I talked to them. I gravitated for whatever reason, we gravitated together, and you made a phone call to me and you followed up on what we talked about, and that meant a lot to me, and that means a lot about your character. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you. Well, I felt like I was challenged, and so I had to call you.
I do that pretty good.
Yes you do. Yes you do. Yes you do.
Because I always, I tell people, you're new and not recently new into New Mexico, and you saw value in what I had to offer.
Absolutely, yes.
And that's just, I just tell you, that's why I've been saving this to tell you this on air, and I didn't tell you to your face, but it was just a great, to talk to you, and then you to call me, because I talked to a lot of people and they don't follow up, and you did, and that just shows you. That's why you have my friendship for one, and also
thank you.
And you're on my show, so that was awesome. And so, let's give the audience just a bit, give us a Reader Digest, who you are, where you're from, and why you're here.
Okay. Well, obviously I don't have a Southern accent. I'm from Staten Island, New York. Originally, actually grew up in the Bronx, so I moved to Staten Island when I was a little kid, and I came here 4 years ago, Steve. Not knowing Hurricane Sandy was going to hit, and I got divorced, and I thought it'd be a nice place for a change, and I was right. I came here with no plan, zero plan, and one of my friends says, "You're a fool. You're going there. You have no plan." A year later, he goes, "Don't ever listen to me." Best move ever made.
I guess the land of enchantment is enchanted.
Yes.
I mean, I tell people, everybody laughs about, I hear so many stories when people come here and they go, "Oh, there's no ocean, there's no green, there's no dew," and I go, "Well, you're gonna get enchanted." 10 years later, they come back and they says, "Steve, you're 100% right."
This is a great place to live. Folks out there, this is a great place to live. I can't say it. I mean, you have 4 seasons, but there's hardly any winter. It's sunshine, 350 days a year. The air is one of the cleanest airs in the United States. I mean, if you want to get away from pollution, people that complain, and a toxic community, this is the place to be. No question about it.
And I'm going to call you Dr. Joe, because
that's fine with me. That's fine with me.
Dr. Joe.
That's fine.
Because we're going to build on this for later in the show. How's that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So before that, let's athletics. What did athletics mean? You're from New York. Born, is that right?
Yeah,
let's go back to what people.
Well, I'm from New York. I played high school baseball at Tottenham High School, very famous, nationally ranked.
Still play baseball?
I still play at my age. I'm an old man. I still play. Yes, I can't get it out of me. I still play in the competitive leagues. I play with guys sometimes 20, 30 years younger than me in the summertime back in New York. I don't know why I do it. It's an addiction, and I love playing. And the funny thing now is, you know, you play with guys 20 years ago, and now their sons are my teammates, which is weird.
It's a great feeling, though.
Oh, yeah. It's like this guy is, you know, I'm like the oldest guy in the field, and I love it. And I walk the walk and talk when it comes to health. And most people do not, Steve. They talk a big game. And I live it, and I love it, most importantly. I love it.
Well, and that's why, you know, that's one thing. We're actually here for two things. One is we're going to talk nutrition, which you're talking to a novice, so I'm going to ask novice questions that I always hear. And you are a doctor, so you have, you know, you can tell me the pros and cons of if I'm taking something. And,
I will, gladly.
And actually, then we'll go into one step further than that. What are the best vitamins for athletes that are safe and help me out.
Non-toxic, not going to kill you quickly.
Well, or have side effects later on in life or now.
You want me to hit that question right now?
Yeah, let's just start.
Okay. Folks, a lot of people take vitamins and supplements. Okay, children do.
Let's keep it sports. Let's keep it high school, junior high, and up.
Okay.
Okay. Let's just start. When should you start vitamins?
Okay.
On athletic type thing.
Okay. Here's the thing. Most people, teenagers, athletes, are vitamin deficient with food. Okay. I'm sorry, but the food that you buy, most cases, the soil is depleted. Okay. Most people are not living on organic fruits and vegetables. They're not. Okay. So most of the food you buy in Costco, in Smith's, all these places, is not the highest quality. So good vitamins to supplement food, Steve, is the key, not instead of. The word is supplement, which means in addition to, not instead of. Does that make sense? And that's very, very important. And people out there start taking muscle building stuff. You know, when I was in school, people were taking steroids. They shouldn't, but they were doing it. And the steroids...
I actually started, you know what, I'll go one step. It was early 70s.
Okay. That's the Arnold Schwarzenegger era.
Right, yeah, no, I mean, going back, that was him and people.
They took stuff, they did.
And they had Arnold made it where it was on, he took it to another level with the weightlifting and
yes.
And then bodybuilding got big and huge at that time. And
it did.
And it was if you weren't on steroids, then you couldn't compete.
Right, and that's how Major League Baseball was about 10, 15 years ago. And the sad thing is that people who do steroids, okay, it will kill you eventually, okay? It will destroy your body, your liver, your kidneys, but people don't care. And they say, well...
Because of the price, because now we're going to jump a little bit into pro sports, and then, I hear this all the time. You know what? 30 years later, here I got $20 million in my account.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to die anyway.
Right. But here's the facts here is you don't know how much of your life is going to be depleted from this stuff. So in other words, people think, I'll lose 5 years of my life. If you take drugs, okay, it will destroy you. Even over-the-counter stuff is dangerous. It destroys your liver and kidneys. You have to be very, very careful. And a lot of people out there, athletes and people my age, are taking, let's say, whey protein and creatine. Let's talk about that. That's big sellers. And whey protein and creatine are the biggest money-making vitamins in the world. You can look that up. It makes a fortune. But here's the problem. Whey protein is from cows. It's very difficult to digest something from cow. And even the cleanest cow whey protein is not good for your kidneys.
I mean, hamburgers are not good for it?
No, sir.
Oh, okay.
But it's like anything else. Where did it come from? We live in an area of the country where people can get deer meat and elk, which is much healthier than chicken, as an example. Okay, chicken's not been red meat, folks. That's a myth. So where did the things come from? How were the vitamins actually made? Okay, and those are factors. And when you buy something in Costco or Vitamin Cottage, any place, how long are those vitamins sitting on that shelf? And usually the vitamins are 6 months to a year old. So the potency's not there. It's not there.
So they have a longevity of...
It's not shelf life. It's not, expiration date. To me is when were the vitamins actually made, and nobody talks about that. No one. And in my industry, it's kind of like people like, Joe, you shouldn't talk about that because, people don't want to hear it. I said, well, it's true. So when somebody goes and hunts an animal, they kill the animal, they clean it, and you eat that animal 3 or 4 days later, that's much healthier than Purdue chicken that's been sitting in the supermarket for 6 months and was in a warehouse, right? Most things are common sense, Steve. Most things in health are really common sense. So when you talk about supplements in kids, I get scared with the creatine especially. Creatine will dehydrate you. It has definitely side effects on the liver and kidney. And people say, well, if you take a little bit, it's not going to be so bad. That's true, but what do people do? They take more and more and more. And a lot of companies make a lot of stuff.
Especially when your muscles are getting bigger and you're running faster.
Of course.
And you're looking good. And
the ego, right, of course. So I always tell people, look for the cleanest vitamins possible. But the problem is people don't know what clean is. Okay? When there's fillers, artificial flavors, yellow dye, red dye, those are killers. You want stuff that's clean.
So white, is that clean enough?
What is?
White, just white. You said yellow and
Oh, yeah, very funny. Yeah. So that's what you want. You want something that has, the least amount of fillers or no fillers. I believe vitamins should be made in supplements without additives and preservatives, but they put them in because they're cheap. And a lot of stuff is made in a couple different countries and shipped here as well.
Okay, so... Okay, you talked about creatine. So what is something that you would suggest would be as good or that's better than creatine?
Okay, and I'm a straight shooter. Okay. Folks out there, okay, if you say what's better? Or
as good, not better or whatever, with not hurting having side effects.
See, everything has a side effect. Okay. So I would have kids eat more real food. That's my key. More real food, the better. That's what you want. However, those things I'm talking about, whey protein and creatine, do put on muscle. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I'm not going to do it. Those things work. However, is it worth the side effect? That's the problem, Steve. These things work. I remember when I was in school, guys started taking powders and stuff, and they're getting acne on their back. I'm like, there's got to be an anabolic side effect. I'm watching guys break out all the time. And now you got companies that supposedly are better, but they're about making money. It's very, very difficult to find the best choice. I believe in real food, okay? And work out. Work out intensely. Have the right trainers. Have the right coaches. But the problem is, look around some of these coaches, right? You see the shape they're in?
I agree.
They're not healthy. And I don't want to, rain on anyone's parade out there, but how can a coach who's completely out of shape tell you to get in shape?
Good point. Hey, Joe, we're going to go to Dave and Buster's top 10 plays. We're going to come back talk more about Joe Kasper, Dr. Joe.
Thank you, sir.
Medina from the volleyball line, yes. They will attack the rim, get fouled again, scoops and scores. Oh, beautiful foul. Layup is up and good. Out by Rogers. Nice pass inside. Ball is blocked by Washeka. Rejected again by Washeka.
Not good. Keep looking, keep looking.
Cormier will
foul.
Power up
Wow,
and score.
look at that.
Foul by Martin. That's a hold there on Monday.
Oh, nice job.
Beautiful pass to Cormier, who flushes
great.
the two-hand hammer.
He had an opening.
Hill will drive to the
Nice
basket
pass.
inside to
There it is
Cormier.
again.
Another two-hand hammer.
Nice. We're like, whatever. He made 80%.
Here comes Weaver, and he throws it down with emphasis, no doubt about it.
Altitude Sports Grill is where Albuquerque's sports fans won't miss a game. With locally crafted brews on tap and refreshingly crisp cocktails. Located in Hotel Cascada, Albuquerque residents find a staycation worth staying for. Catching Lobo sports, enjoying a beer on the beach, or wiping out, Hotel Cascada is home to your urban adventure. Affordable guest rooms, no-hassle water park parties, and much more.
Visit the Frontier Restaurant. Due to heavy construction on Central, take lead or coal coming north or south. The Frontier Restaurant. Get your Frontier fix on.
Sinners and Saints, a proud sponsor of Proview Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. Start your evening off right with a delicious menu selection like the Sinners Smothered Fries with pulled pork and green chili. Always prepared with fresh, never frozen ingredient. Catch all the sports action from college, pros, and MMA on one of our 35 HD TVs. Sinners and Saints, the friendliest sports bar in Albuquerque.
Hey, welcome back to the Steve Davis Show. We have Dr. Joe. How's that, Dr. Joe?
That sounds good. I can take that.
You can take that. A clinical nutritionist.
Yes, sir.
So, we were talking about creatine, talking about these things, and so what are the, my mom, let's just, fish oil, what's fish oil?
Fish oil, fish oil, a lot of people need the EPA's official. It could be a good thing, but like anything else, people need certain vitamins, but like anything else, where did it come from? So in other words, when you buy fish oil in the store, you'll see glycerin in it, okay? You'll see gelatin in it. You don't need those things in the vitamins. They always put additives and things in it that you don't need, which really bothers me.
So how, okay, here I'm a perfect example of this, okay? Is I walk into, and then there's just walls and walls of every vitamin.
Right.
And guess what? Every one of them is better than the other vitamin.
Well, if you got to read the ingredients, you have to understand what you're reading. And most people aren't educated in that area. It's not their fault. It's just they don't know. They don't know. And someone says, I recommend this, I recommend that. My friend said this is good. Recommend, it's like someone says, well, my friend said I should do this. I'm like, well, why don't you ask the dog catcher? Maybe he could tell you too. The point is you have to be knowledgeable of what you're doing. Okay,
and you've been big on this point in this deal is, you said if you exercise and you eat correctly, do you need vitamins?
Yes, because nobody eats 100% correctly, including myself.
Okay.
So
how do you know you don't? I'm just saying, people, you can look at America, you can look at the...
America's a mess. America's a mess.
Okay, and everybody talks about it, but how do you know? So would you talk to Dr. Joe?
They can talk to me, sure. But here's the thing is, this specialized blood testing, there's things you can do. And sometimes the medical doctors have
you can take a blood.
Certain kinds of blood testing. In other words.
Okay, well, go into detail.
Well, I believe blood testing should be done by a person who goes deep, deep into your blood, like a person who looks under a microscope, okay, who doesn't have 200 to 500 people a day. When you send your blood out to a lab, that lab tech works an 8-hour shift. They look at 200 to 500 people's blood a day, depending on what city you live in. They're going to make a mistake or 10. So let me give a great example. My mom 3 years ago was diagnosed with leukemia, not once, but twice. Guess what? She never had it. They made a mistake twice. Isn't that something? So if I wasn't her son, she would have probably taken radiation chemotherapy, which is dangerous in my opinion, and would have thought that cured it. They made a mistake, Steve.
Okay, so help me with price range, because everybody always comes with price. It comes to dollars. A deep blood test.
To me, a deep blood test the right way with the proper coaching costs a couple $1,000. But think about this: how much is that new car you got? Okay, 50 grand, 30 grand, right? People will spend to go to the basketball game. They'll spend on alcohol, but they won't spend on their health until they have to. I find a number of people who say they can't afford things, sometimes they really, you know what they're really saying? Joe, I don't see the value. I'd rather hear that. You know, I don't see the value in this, as opposed to I can't afford it. Now, of course, some cannot. I agree. But when it comes to value, Steve, we spend on things we feel are valuable, right?
100%.
Right. And for some people, going to that bar on Friday night and spending 80, 90, 100 bucks with their buddies is imperative for their life and their socialization. And that's okay. That's who they are, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's their choice. You know, when my dad had a massive...
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Right, right. My dad had a massive stroke years ago.
I thought it might be, you know, abnormal or something.
Right. Now, let me use an example of something. My dad had a massive stroke years ago, okay? And in a 4-year period, it cost my mom and I $200,000 for his care. $200,000 insurance and cover. If I would have said to my mom when this happened, that's when of course she would say he's going to die, we can't afford it. But somehow, some way, I worked as a teacher and did personal training, and I did bus duty for the school when I was doing that back then. I did everything I can to make money to pay for his care because I saw the value in my father's life. And I didn't listen to the doctors when they said he'd be dead. But I felt I was doing the right thing. And to this day, I made the right decision.
Okay, I'm going to change this. This is a personal kind of thing with me. Okay, so basically, I'd say 7 years ago, I went to the doctor, diabetes, diabetes 2, and me being competitive and an athlete.
Yes, you are.
Okay. So you think so. Here was my. And I'm still upset. And I'm going to vent out a little bit. Okay?
Please do. I can take it.
Okay, you can take it. So I go to the doctor, and it was, you know, it comes out, and the doctor says, you got type 2 diabetes. And I go, come on, you know. Take these pills. Here was his instructions. Take these pills, exercise, change your diet. Okay, I'm a novice. I'm actually pissed. Use my.
You should be.
Okay, because it was like, all right. And so I went in and I had to go buy books. I went on, you know, and finally I found a book that said, and of course being athletic is always, you know, it says, how do you beat diabetes? And then it was all the other ones said these things and all that. And so I got it, you know, I went and worked out. I was weighing about 175, 180. I dropped down to 120 in like 6 months.
120?
No, 220, excuse me.
120.
Yeah, good. 220, all right? But if it wasn't for that book, I couldn't get in. It was always like somebody was always, you know, pawning me off onto another bill.
Right.
I was like, oh, we'll talk to this person, person.
Right.
All right, another $100, another $100, another $100. And I just, you know, I went to the library and talked to the next and got me a book that won.
That's smart.
And diabetes. But so here's what happened to me. And so whatever they had given me for a deal, they said take one a day. And take this for one a day, and you know, and I'm like, because I was scared. One was because you hear of all the things that diabetes can happen, lose your feet, can you lose all this stuff, do all this stuff, and so I was religious, man. I got up, and then this book says starting to exercise, lose weight, and you know, I lost in a good way. I lost like 50 pounds in like 6, you know, like 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
Well, I was taking these deals, and then I went ketosis. And I told everybody, and I was not acting right. I felt like I was drunk all the time.
Right, correct.
I thought I was out. My body wasn't acting right, and
your body chemistry was off. Yeah,
I was way off.
Right.
So I quit taking the drugs, or the pills, or whatever they were, and it was. So I go to the doctor, and the doctor comes in and says, Steve, he says, I see you haven't been refilling your, and I couldn't get to see a doctor. That's another story in itself. I don't want to get into that.
Right.
Okay, so I go in, and he says, Steve, really, you know, how come you're not doing what I'm saying to do? And I said, look, I'm exercising, I'm eating. I've got this book. I'm talking eating for 7 months, 100% perfect. I mean, it was like, down to the nuts, down to here, eating every 5 meals a day, those small deals. And and I said, before you yell at me and beat me up, I said, would you just take my A1C and see where I was at?
Right.
Well, and I don't mind talking about this and you'll be surprised. So, and I'm competitive. So, I was a 14 A1C when I started. Right. In 6 months, what do you think I was?
A 6.
Close, 5.9.
Okay.
And he looked at me and he goes, I apologize.
And he should. Good.
Okay, no, he did. The first thing he said, I apologize. And he says, but understand why. And I says, I'm all ears, because I'm not real happy right now. Okay? I'm all ears. And I said it like that. I said, I'm all ears. And he says, well, you came in, I remember what I said, because I said it the other day. I said, take the pills, work out, change your diet.
Right.
He says, most people only hear one thing.
Take the pills. Yes, yes.
And I said, well, you know what? You should change the order. You should diet, you should work out, and then let's see if we can get you off these pills.
Yes, sir.
And that wasn't the way it was explained to me. Okay, right. Well, anyway, so even to this day, I'm on no medication. I'm on diet. I watch my blood sugars and watch what I eat, and I push the envelope because I'm not as scared of it, which is I should be. Okay,
and yes, you should be.
Right. Whenever I gain a little weight, I go work out and get back down and lose 10 pounds and do the whole thing. Well, anyway, that's was just my story about being with the doctor and back to being about health.
Let me explain something to you. A medical doctor has to give drugs. They have to. And that's
you know what? And I did all my research. So
they have no choice. They have no, because that's how our world is. In other words, if a doctor gives you medicine and something happens, probably you won't be able to sue him. The other way, see, if you go to a medical doctor and he says, do these healthy things, don't worry about taking medicine, they can get in trouble. My friends who are MDs always tell me, they go, I wish I could do what you do, Joe. I can't.
So
they have no option.
So back to this book, and then I started looking at alternative medicine. I mean, I never believed in it.
Right.
Okay, because that's the way I was inbred, and because my parents was like, "I'll go to the doctor and do what the doctor says," and then you always hear these things of alternative medicine. And so I started, and that's what I do right now. There's certain vitamins that.
But here's the thing on certain vitamins. Where are they coming from? In other words,
see, that's the next one.
Right. How old are they? In other words, how potent are they? Potency means a lot. What's the quality of them? Okay. No one talks about this. I research certain vitamins, and I'll try to find out who made them, and a lot of times I can't get a hold of them. I want to know who the formulator is. I do, and it's almost impossible. 99% of vitamin companies are owned by people with no credentials. They're marketers. I'm not kidding.
Well, you know what? I know that. I mean, I took the time to research it, and I almost, even today when I go in and get my. I'll listen to the doctor, and I said, don't prescribe me anything. Let me read up on it.
Smart move. Most people don't do that because they're in a hurry. You know what the sad thing is about health, guys?
Oh, back to my story. Yeah. So anyway, when I was talking with the doctor, it was. So I took one pill one day, and then it went to 2 pills a day, and then it went to 3 pills. Right. Okay, and I weighed, I think it was about 190, 185, 190, maybe 195, pushing it at that time, and it was increasing for the weight I was. And I was decreasing, so I was getting 3 times the medication that I was when I dropped 60 pounds.
Yeah, there's always a side effect to everything you do. And I was going to say, folks out there, is very simple. I see people who, let's say their parents had a heart attack, a stroke, okay, cancer, whatever disease, and what do? They follow the same exact pattern as their family. That's insane. It's insane.
Well, I mean, and I have great. I mean, I'm just saying. I would. It was like, seriously, go doctor, do what. It's like that's the way I was raised.
Right. I was too. But here's the point: is so when I go to a medical doctor and they say, "What's your family health history?" You want to hear what I tell them? I'm not going to follow their behavior. Next question. And it's kind of an ego, and I have one. I admit it. And it's
you do just a little bit?
Yeah, I do. And it's kind of obnoxious, but I'm being truthful. In other words, my dad had a massive stroke. I am not going to follow his behavior because that's not going to happen to me. I made that decision years and years ago. Right. That's it. It's a decision. But folks out there, pay attention. This is really serious. If you get really healthy, you know what's going to happen, Steve? This is crazy. Prepare to have to get new friends and family. I'm serious. I'm dead serious. So imagine you're in a family and the health isn't a big thing, and all of a sudden you get really healthy. How are you going to fit in?
No, I had that.
It's true. And same with your friends.
You can't go eat with them.
No, right. And you'll be ostracized. They'll say, no, that's not true. You watch. It shouldn't be that way. People should accept people. And it's funny, you would think that the healthy people don't accept the unhealthy people. Nope, it's completely the other way around. The people unhealthy don't accept the healthy people. I've seen it for the last 20 years.
Dr. Joe, we're going to come back and talk more about Dr. Joe and vitamins. How's that?
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Now there's an easier way to find deals at great New Mexico restaurants. DineNM.com. Just use your smartphone. Go to the site, download the app. No purchase or printer necessary. DineNM.com. The easiest way to save money when dining out.
Ladera Golf Course on Albuquerque's west side features spacious greens, 27 holes with outstanding practice facilities, and beautiful views of the Sandia Mountains, nestled at the foot of the volcanoes. Our 300-person banquet room and bridal suite is perfect for all occasions. Customize your room with color, chair covers, table linen, dinner, and champagne. Visit our cafe and bar with daily specials and happy hour, plus our full-service golf pro shop. For tee times and more information, call 505-836-4449.
Don't forget, every Proview Network sporting event is on sale at our DVD store. Go to www.proviewNetworks.com to buy your DVD today.
The Barley Room, a proud sponsor of Proview Networks for over 9 years, is pleased to introduce Black Iron Catering. From weddings and family reunions to birthdays and office parties, Black Iron Catering is perfect for any event. Contact Jamie at 505-459-8259 and book your event today. Black Iron Catering. Let us bring our kitchen to you.
Terry Kasper Insurance Agency is a proud partner with Proview Networks and a proud supporter of New Mexico high school athletics. Terry's been a local farmer's agent for over 20 years for auto, home, life, and business insurance. Just like high school sports are important, so are teen drivers. For more information, call Terry or one of his licensed staff members at 898-5556. Quotes are available for you.
Gonstead Physical Medicine are healthcare professionals that create custom treatment plans for those diagnosed with spinal ligament injuries. We use chiropractic systems to ensure the best patient outcomes, functional rehab exercises designed to improve the quality of daily activities, trigger point injections that help alleviate pain and spasms, non-surgical spinal decompression to minimize any disc bulges, and massage therapy for painful conditions and relaxation.
Does your provider have the therapies to address your problem? We do.
Contact us for a complimentary consultation.
Gecko's Bar and Tapas, a proud supporter of Proview Networks. It's been a fan-favorite spot for food lovers and sports fans. With not one, but two great locations, including outdoor patio, an atmosphere you won't want to miss. Gecko's, off Academy and in Nob Hill.
Hey, welcome back to the Steve Davis Show. We have Dr. Joe, clinical nutritionist, and what a great conversation we've had. Now, let's get to we've talked about your background from New York, baseball player, divorce. I mean, you got for those single ladies out there. I mean, I'm saying, I'm going to warn them before you might be on the warpath.
No warpath here.
All right. I'm just
actually one of the best divorces in history. It was very peaceful. Yeah.
Well, good. And you're not bitter. You're laughing about that. That's good. A lot of people get bitter about those things.
No bitter.
But Just so we talked about vitamins, and you're into vitamins, so let's just bring that up. I mean,
I am. It's funny. I've had so many companies over the years, a lot of network marketing companies, particularly MLM stuff, and I'm not going to mention names, come after me to sell their stuff, and I'm appreciative of that. But I always knew that I wanted to do my own thing. I always knew it, even 10, 15 years ago. I didn't know when, but I knew one day that would happen. And the problem with a lot of the companies is they have some good stuff, but there's always an additive or a filler in there. And when I ask them, they go, well, it's not that big of a deal. It's only a small amount. And I go, just admit it's in there because you're trying to save money, And they'll go, well, our scientists and our researchers say how great this is. Great, but just be honest. Be honest. Right. Tell the truth. It might set you free, as they say.
Well, let's hear about that. Keep going. You got me. Are you sure? You got me. You got the care. You got the audience going right now.
I do. Okay. So I decided I wanted to formulate something that most people could afford and use on a daily basis, and I got it.
And hit all the points.
Yes. So I feel in today's world we need a really good multivitamin, a really good probiotic, and a really good digestive enzyme. We need the probiotics because, folks, let's face it, Greek yogurt isn't cutting it. It's not. You need the good bacteria back in your system. You need a good digestive enzyme to help break down food, and a good multivitamin to serve a lot of purposes. It's a basic necessity. And there's other stuff we need too, but the average person can do that. And I bring to you Power Pack 3. You guys see down there? Oh, here we go.
Well, just sit it up there, Okay. Sit it real pretty right there now, just so where they can see the name.
Yeah.
All right.
Focus on that?
Yeah, we can focus right on that.
Okay. And
there might be more attention on that than you.
Probably there will be.
Okay, sir.
And Power Pack 3, these are packets, and I'll take it out of here. Okay. There we go. Okay. And you can put these in your pocket. Very simple. Probiotic, digestive enzyme, multivitamin. Very, very simple. Stick in your pocket, put in your purse, put in your briefcase. It's very, very simple. And you take these a few minutes before your biggest meal of the day. For some people, it's breakfast.
You take them before, not after. Some people
not after. No,
Why?
Before. Because
that's a myth.
Right. You want to take stuff 5 to 20 minutes before because you want to break the food down. Most companies tell you to take vitamins, okay, with food or after because there's so many fillers in there, they don't break them down. That's the problem. My stuff is all whole raw foods. And you see the ingredients, everything is as pure as a baby's bottom. There's no fillers, no nothing.
Well, let's make sure we can see this. See, it's not, you got to make it clear that.
Can they see it?
Yeah, no, they can't read into it.
Okay.
Just make sure that thing's, we can see that label. There you go. Okay. You're coachable.
I'm trying to be coachable. Yeah. So, a lot of my clients around the world do take them, and the success has been amazing. I mean, if you go to the website www.powerpack3.com, POWERPACK3.com, you'll see all the video testimonials. And here's something I'm very proud about, Steve.
Say that one more time, because Josh we were checking out your deal, and let's put that up there on the.
I'll say it again.
There you go.
Powerpack3.com, POWERPACK3.com. And when you go to most vitamin websites, here's what takes place. You'll see testimonials, okay, and usually good-looking people who I found out are paid, number one, or get the products for free, number two, or both. Every one of those video testimonials on that website, or there's a bunch of doctors, all that stuff, they all pay for the product. Seriously, they all buy them, every one of them. And I said to all the people taking them, I said, can you do me a favor? Just tell me how you feel. And I didn't tell them what to say. And I couldn't believe when I was researching how many companies tell people what to say. They lie. I know people in town who get paid lots of money to market vitamins they don't even take, but they get paid. So I was just happy that people are getting great results in them. They're feeling better, great energy. It's helping in the digestive system. One of our buddies that we both know, Orlando, okay, it helped him with his digestion. So it's doing.
I was going to bring that up later, but
Orlando Griego. Did I say his name?
We'll start.
Coach Griego.
Coach Griego. That's how he brought you and I together.
Correct.
And him and I have gotten over the really. We've had a history over like the 10, and in the last 4 years, we've become very close. And
he's a good guy.
He's very good.
That guy does so much for this community. It's amazing. And I learned from him. And and I'm the kind of guy I like to give back, but my giving back is from here, not someone tell me what I should do.
Right.
Because I think it's Ruben Stone says this is what you should do, and I do what I can. I help people when I can. from here. Because when you're bossed around, it's not very nice. And
right.
So, and I see what he does, and and with the baseball and the kids, and he helps kids get scholarships. It's amazing. It's amazing what he does. So, I'm in this.
And what he does, what's so special about him is that, and I don't want demographics and use, but the kids that are usually come from dysfunctional families.
We're all from dysfunctional families.
Well, that's a good point, but and maybe he's dysfunctional, okay? But he's not only he's a mentor to them. He's like a father figure
yes,
to them. Okay?
Yes,
I mean, he
absolutely.
takes, and he gives them advice. He's disciplined, and he gets the best out of those kids.
No question about it. And their graduation rate for the baseball team, I believe, is 99.something%. That's insane. That's great.
Especially from Rio Grande, and that's not a knock on. I mean, if you look at Rio Grande, half the students, graduate. I don't know if you even knew that.
He told me that, and it was funny. I came here, and it's funny because he had heard of my program, Tottenham High School, even from Staten Island, because they're nationally ranked.
Well, how did y'all meet? I mean,
it's fun. We met through a mutual friend, because that's what happened. And it was funny because we're both similar stories, close to the same age. He played baseball at a high level. I did as well, and we both went through getting cut and issues and just things. And
how's it feel when you go out to him? Do you feel competitive? Do you feel?
Oh, he's tough. He's tough. He brings that.
He brings the A game, right?
Yeah. You better have your A game with him. Yeah.
Right.
But I know he cares so much about the kids, and he talks to people too. A number of people he's spoken to are getting my vitamins now because he's like, listen, talk to Dr. Joe. He'll help you. And it's when someone calls me because he recommended him, it feels good because he gives with his heart, and I do the same thing. That's our connection.
Well,
not just him being a tough guy.
Well, and I'll be honest with you, you wouldn't be on the show without, because he speaks so highly of you.
Thank you.
I mean, I didn't have to go, with you being with him. I didn't have to go, oh, well, who's this guy? And
right.
I didn't even look. I said, you know what? You called and you did what you said you were going to do.
Yes, sir.
So I told you what I was going to do for you.
I appreciate it.
And you got all excited the first day you came in.
Well, I mean, I've been on some TV shows before, and I like it. I like the camera. I admit I do. I just want to see the world be a healthier place. I mean, I really do, Steve. If I can give you a little bit of advice and add 10 or 20 years to your life, quality years, that's worth something. And we're all going to die one day, unfortunately. I mean, but let's add more years to our lives. Let's be around longer. Let's not have diabetes. Let's not have kidney issues. Let's avoid taking all these medicines if we can. But it takes work. You go to school, you're an athlete, you work hard at those things. I just wish the nutrition and the vitamin stuff would go hand in hand the right way. It does not. I mean, I sat on a plane next to Hoy Posada, the Yankees catcher, retired a few years ago. And I said to him, how?
And you talked to him? You weren't on? It was like,
no, we sat together.
Or you realized who it was and you just go.
I was going to speak in Tampa, Florida, and he was on rehab for his hamstring. I told him he'll heal. I told him what was wrong with his hamstring. He was nice to me. And we spoke for 3 hours on a flight to Tampa. And I said, why can't Major League Baseball players go to healthy restaurants? He goes, yeah, you're right. Because the whole image thing, and it's kind of sad in a way.
No, you hit it right on. You hit it earlier. What's so great about you, and it's with me, is you're a doctor. Okay, so but you're in layman's terms. Does that make sense? I mean, you can relate. I go in, doctors, they start going up with all the things that are wrong with
I can talk technical, but guess what? We're all real people.
I'm what I'm saying. You can talk technical if you have somebody to talk technical with, but you can make the same point with a little more.
But you know what? It's boring. Guess what? We're on the show. Okay, you're entertaining. I'm somewhat entertaining. And people want to be entertained. And they want to learn, but they want to enjoy the program. Right? I mean, there's shows out there, and they do a lot of doctor shows, and they talk about vitamins and this thing, and everyone's like, this thing, and they're all anal retentive of them. I'm bored. And if I'm bored, the average person's going to be bored too. I want something to be exciting. You want to be excited about what you're talking about, what you're teaching, because everything is teaching. This is the classroom right now. This is our classroom right now. And
I'm the student and you're the teacher?
Well, no, there's students out there.
They're in trouble if I'm the teacher. I just want to let you know that right now. But no, I just, back to your, we touched on, one thing about Steve David, we jump them up and go from left to right to left.
I can see it, but that's fun. It's fun, Steve.
But it's, the point, that, back is vitamins, you make a great point. Is that if you eat healthy and heat deal, which probably with nothing against anybody, people don't realize. I didn't realize chicken was 4 weeks or so in the market.
And here's the funny thing is, any nutritionist out there that says chicken is better than red meat, don't ever hire them. They don't know what they're talking about. There's a lot of misconceptions. In this town, people like elk and deer meat, right? That's a red meat. That is 100 times healthier than that chicken in the store. Way healthier. A person shot the animal clean, hopefully. They cleaned it for you. You got the elk from the hunters. That's as organic as you can get.
Great point.
Yeah, I mean, that's the truth. That's as organic as you can get. So if you're in a family
and
where they
lamb, I learned lamb's pretty good.
Yeah, it is. But who killed the animal? How was the animal raised?
Processed.
Everything matters and affects your system.
Dr. Joe, we're going to come back, and we're going to really come back and talk to why you're here on this show.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it.
Want to eat at a great New Mexico restaurant? Then go to dinenm.com and get a true New Mexico dining experience. We're dedicated to promoting New Mexico-owned restaurants. We advertise restaurant specials, events, and deals all in one place. No need to sign up, sign in, or print out a coupon. Just show your smartphone to your waiter. It's free and easy to use, so find a new special place and enjoy New Mexico's fabulous restaurants. Download the app and visit us online at dinenm.com today.
Welcome back to Steve Davis Show. We have Dr. Joe here, clinical nutritionist. What a great show we've had so far. Thanks for coming on. And let's get to one point. You want to make a point and break about how are vitamins made. Let's get that.
I want to brag.
Let's get that.
I want to
make sure vitamin different than the rest of them. All right.
Okay. What I'm going to say might be offensive to some of the people who do vitamins, but let me explain what goes on. So when vitamins are made, a certain amount of what they call a lot has to be made in order for, especially with private labels. I mean, like this is a private label, okay? Mine's different. I'll explain why in a minute. So when vitamins are made, they make a certain amount of them, 500, 1,000, maybe 2,000, 3,000 at a time. That brings the price down. Does that make sense, Steve? Okay. Right. So when those are made, they go into a holding facility for about 2 weeks. After the holding facility, they go to a warehouse and then possibly get distributed. That's how it goes, to a store or a group or whatever it is. So there's usually a 3-step process. By the time those vitamins get into your mouth, I did my research. The freshest they're going to be is about 6 months old, if you're lucky. If you're lucky. And it's not about expiration date, it's when were they actually made, and most people can't answer that question. So when I was designing mine, I wanted the freshest vitamins possible. And I was listening to conference calls, I was talking to different people, and I said, well, I want to have vitamins at a warehouse. And the guy goes, are you insane? No one does that. No lab will do that for you. And my whole life, people have always told me what I can't do. So I did this on Spice, Steve.
just prove everybody.
Well, here's what I did. I found a lab that would do this for me. So they make my vitamins as fresh as possible. So if you say, Joe.
So now your vitamin, how long does it take to get your vitamin, and how long are they on?
Well, let me explain this. I usually make, so if you say, Joe, I need 100 canisters, I don't have them. They're not made. There's no warehouse, no holding facility, nothing. So I usually make probably 30 or 40 at a time. That's how I do it. And then within a week, they're gone. That's how I do it. They're gone that way, you know.
So it's 6 months versus maybe 2 weeks at the most?
At the most, exactly. And my lab does a great thing too, which I pay extra for this, but the lab will send it right to your house and drop ship it to your house. on my orders. Wow. Which no one will do. So when a lab makes vitamins for people, they make them, and then they go to a warehouse because there's a storage facility and a storage fee and all that other stuff. They're not going to hold them for you. The labs are too big. They have too many people they're making for. I found a small enough lab that'll do my way. And listen, I'm not easy to deal with on this. I have my stuff done a certain way. I had to have the most vitamins, most.
Well, yeah, you've been on my show and you're doing it a certain way. I like that. I mean, that's good.
The most pristine ingredients. And another thing people don't tell you about too is when vitamins are made, okay, you'll see some pure raw vitamins and it'll say no impurities, no nothing, and then on the side, real small, it'll say, however, manufacturing facility that has shellfish, tree nuts, soy, whatever. And that's dangerous too. Cross-contamination happens all the time and people have allergies. Now, and sometimes some companies will store their stuff in a facility that has other stuff too. I think storage is not the worst thing. So if your vitamins are in the same room as something that's maybe not so pure, that's not great, but that's not as bad as using the same conveyor belts, same machinery for, let's say, whey protein and you're allergic to cow milk on the same, assembly line as other vitamins. And that's what happens all the time. And it's crazy, and no one talks about it. And that's why we have cross-contamination. So my lab doesn't sell food. They don't do anything else. They make them my way. They don't make creatine, whey protein, nothing that can contaminate my vitamins. Nothing. And I'm a stickler, Steve. I'm hardcore in this area because I choose to be. And that's why I get the results that I get.
Well, that's amazing. I mean, that even goes on to more time, and I'm glad you brought that up. Now, I want to bring people up to why you were interested in, one, being with Proview Networks, is, you're going to do your own show. I am.
I'm very excited. Very excited.
And I'm looking, and we're going to have time because we're going to run out of time. But the topics you're going to have is excited me the day that you came into my office. My mom was sitting in there, and I have a very photographic mind of everything when I talk to people. People underestimate what I retain. They think I'm not listening or paying attention, but I'm very, very, very observant while I'm doing 5 other different things and stuff like that. Okay. But it was like, I had this idea last year, and it's funny how, and I said, I'm going to get this done. And actually told the person that was going to do a show like this that you need to jump on, get on, because people are going to be very interested of what not nutritions do, but what surgeries. You're gonna, I'm stealing your thunder, so just give me an idea.
Go and steal it all you want.
Okay, but give what your show's going to be about. It's going to be a 30-minute show, and maybe longer because you're finding out an hour goes by so quick.
Oh, it does. I
mean, we didn't even get to touch on to all the things that we got to talk about, but. Let's give some people from the audience something on what they're going to be seeing.
Okay.
On a weekly basis.
Well, we're going to bring on different guests in all different health parameters, from chefs to surgeons to chiropractors to yoga people who invent things. And, it has to be something that I believe in. So if you want to come on my show, that's great. We need to talk. But if you're selling a product I don't believe in, you're not coming on. I'm going to be straight. If I don't believe in what you're doing, if I think it's harmful, I'll be very polite, but it's not happening. I don't care how much money you give. Seriously, I don't work that way. It's going to be fun. It's going to be entertaining. The people are going to learn, and I'm just so excited. And I'll bring in all different people of all different health, sports, you name it, we'll bring them on. And it'll be a lot of fun.
Well, no, I can, with your energy, I mean, you're dynamic. It's going to be fun. It's neat that you're going to be on Proview Networks, and also it's also going to be on on the internet. So everybody, all your people in New York and everything, can actually feel like they're right there. They can send that hate mail and all those things.
I usually get the hate phone calls. Yeah.
and let's go with the name. What's the name going to be now? I'm putting you on the spot now. You got to make a decision.
You can. It's going to be Underground Health Club, because we're going to be kind of investigating things that are kind of underground. It's going to be a lot different than any health show you've ever seen in your life.
Presented by your 3-pack?
My 3-pack. Power Pack 3 will be one of the sponsors. Yes,
you.
My 3-pack.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got you. Now you got that. We're getting that word out there.
And it's funny too and I thought about this as you're talking, Steve. I want to bring on, let's say someone has, something to do with animals, pets, horses, dogs, cats. I want this thing to be a lot of fun. This is going to be a very interesting studio in the next few weeks.
Well, and that's why again when I had this vision of, actually a doctor came to me and it didn't work out in fruition because one was we were just developing this day. We just took this, we Proview only had Channel 26 since this summer, July 1st.
Right. And
that was one of the schedule is, do we have a big enough audience? And as you're finding out, that we have a pretty big audience for me being very humble about it. Probably I should talk more about the first that Proview Networks does, how many games we do and how many shows we got. And now I just want people similar to you is like, hey, just come and watch it and see it. Now we've got, I think we have 10 or 12 establishments in town that you can actually watch your show while you're entertaining yourself.
Yeah, it's exciting. You can watch on your telephones now too, so it's very exciting. TV, people like TV, they just do. They do. So we want to bring to you a quality product.
So your first show is going to be just more similar, just going to be a solo, right? You're just going to come on.
Yes. I'm going to talk about life and health and. There's always going to be tips to help you. I'll give fitness tips, I'll give vitamin tips, I'll give food tips, and you guys, listen, people can follow me on Facebook as well, Joe Kasper with a K. You'll see it very simple. I'm the first one listed Albuquerque, so I'm all over the place, and I like being all over the place. It's fun. Life's too short.
And some of the things that you're going to talk about, and I'm going to go through I'm going to kind of read these things off, and I don't want to, because we're running quickly out of time.
Yes.
So it's still, but. Nutrition's in a changing world. Fire up your health, the health and wealth of your health, and then overcoming your obstacles.
Sure, and we're also going to talk about money too. How money affects people's health. That's a huge topic, Steve. Huge.
And then what sports? The sports.
What is we're going to baseball, football, basketball, hockey, volleyball. We're going to bring on different trainers. Different rehab people. I have so many people in my head I want to bring on. I'm so excited. I'm just jacked with this. I'm really jacked.
And what's exciting for me is because you're excited, and if anybody knows me, when people get excited, I'm excited.
Right.
But it's you did something again. I want to give you. That's why you're going to be successful. And one, you're very factual, you're very upfront, and you're very honest.
Thank you.
Okay, and that's me pegging you with only meeting you 3 or 4 times.
Thanks.
But you went actually and got sponsors already that are excited. That's
you challenged me.
I said go out and talk to some people and see if you're wasting your time. But I know that there's a market out here, and guess what? Steve Davis can't do it all. Okay, and I need people like you to get out there and get the community involved. Let's talk about our great doctors. Let's talk about our great, what is New Mexico besides great athletes, coaches, and athletic directors, and APS, and the whole state of New Mexico in sports. What's behind the scenes that are making? I
agree.
You like that, huh?
I do.
I'm actually want to be in your proponent of who you're going to be in the future. I just, I want to get your autograph now, before you start, make it on the on the big screen. But
yeah. Well,
Joey, we're actually coming to a halt here, and again, let's go to your website, your deal real quick.
Okay, folks, you can go to www.powerpack3.com. That's powerpack3.com.
And then I'm going to say we don't have a time, but next week we're going to do a trailer of the first, the Underworld Health?
Underground.
Underground.
Underworld.
Underground. Help me out.
The Underground Health Club, yeah.
All right.
And by the way, I want to thank the lady who came up with that name. Can I give her credit on the air? Sasha Johnston from Yoga Readers, thank you so much for helping me with that name. Again, Sasha Johnston, great lady, and I'm finding to be the best real estate lady in the state.
Well, again, thanks, Joe, for coming on, and good luck to your show.
My pleasure, Steve. Thank you, sir.